Hello.
Then, now,
Bow down to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever,
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, welcome to episode number, I believe it's 153 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We are here for May 19th, 2025. You know, See No Evil released 19 years ago on this very day. And we are on the road to the Bad Blood pay-per-view event, fresh off the first In Your House special, which is Deadline, which just wrapped up on Saturday night. You know, the transfer window is now finished. We have the finalized rosters. Hopefully I remember to put a community page note up. But yeah, tonight we have a couple of big matches there for the show. We've got an 8-woman tag team match as the Women's World Champion Bianca Belair teams with the Intercontinental Champion Tiffany Stratton and the Blonde Barbies against the the three Nexus girls and Bayley, who Lyra has convinced to team with them. We're also going to hear from John Cena. We can have the WrestleMania rematch in our main event between Jay White and Cody Rhodes. I think Jorge Santana and Angelo Dawkins was also set for tonight. And yeah, last week we found out the next challenger for the WWE Championship held by Chad Gable will be Mr. Prime himself, LA Knight. And he will open up the show tonight. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off the show with LA Knight. Yeah, he comes to the ring. You know, he's got a bottle of Prime in his hand and he hands it to someone in the front row. He goes, "Let me talk to you. Last week was a big night here on Monday Night Raw. It was a big night for all the fans of LA Knight and Prime Hydration all around the world. Because your boy, Mr. Prime himself, LA Knight, won the main event last week to earn himself a shot at the WWE Championship currently held by Chad Gable. Yeah. Now listen, ever since I lost the World Heavyweight Championship last year, I've been on a quest for gold in this company. I don't care what piece of gold it is, as long as you're a champion. Your head had to be on a swivel, looking out for this guy sneaking up behind you. I'm dropping your ass with a BFT. But I always knew my destiny was to once again be world champion here in WWE. And after having a bit of a shake with Logan Paul, of all people, at WrestleMania, I knew I had to turn that around, because that wasn't the form of a megastar. Nah. That was the form of a bum. And I got that win back over Logan Paul. And not only did I get that win back over Logan Paul, I got his business. You see those drinks? Drinks of a champion. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. Chad Gable, if you're back there, you're going to bring your ass on out to this ring right now. And we're going to do this mano-a-mano. We're going to set the stage for your date to lose the WWE Championship when it comes home, where it always needed to be, with the people, and more importantly, with the megastar, with your next WWE Champion, with everybody saying, LA Knight, yeah. And Gable's on the Titantron. He goes, "Knight, up here, Knight, congratulations." You know, I was beginning to lose hope in you. You know, it's different to be a guy like me who, you know, purposefully keeps himself out of the public conscience so that I can go in and expert my master plan to perfection. It's another to be a guy like you clinging on to relevancy. Could you see, LA Knight? You're popular. These people love you. You know who else these people loved at one point in time? Me. And I decided that wasn't enough, because all that had got me was countless upon countless upon countless most underrated wrestler awards. Okay, fan support got me nowhere in this company, and you're just now finding that out the hard way, LA. But congrats, you what? You want Logan Paul's energy drink now? Okay, well, I own the WWE Championship. I didn't get into this industry to get these drinks, LA. I wanted to get this gold, and I'm expertise in winning gold. Oh, thank you, from your Grand Slam champion, Olympic bronze medal winner, and current reigning WWE champion. Now, see, I've got more important things to deal with tonight than to address you. But don't get it twisted, LA Knight. It's not because I'm scared of you. It's that I'm Chad Gable. I fight on my terms, and I get a say in when I defend my WWE Championship, not you. So if you can get on out of my ring, and I'll see you when I see you around. Thank you. And then so just scratches his neck, and he goes, Nah. That's not how we're going to do that tonight, Gable. You say you've got more important things to do than to worry about me. Worry about the man who's going to take that championship from your shoulders, that championship that you spent a year scheming to get. Nah. That's not how it's going to work, because I saw your ass back there. Whether I find you back there, or you come out here later on tonight, do whatever it is you've got to do, just let it be known there's a BFT with your name on it, Chad Gable. But for now, everybody get one last look at the Kavorka of a megastar. Because LA Knight has left the building. Yeah. And then cut back to Bobby Roode in his office, and Cody Rhodes walks in. Bobby goes, Cody, how can I help you today? Cody goes, Bobby, it's about last week. I came to apologize to you. He goes, no nonsense, Cody. I get it, okay? Everybody on Raw right now is on high alert, okay? Because of this whole Nexus thing. And it's crazy, you know? I understand. If I wasn't me and I didn't know that I had nothing to do with this, I'd think that my actions were looking suspicious too. But at the end of the day, Cody, as much as I want those Nexus guys off of my show, I still have to run a show at the end of the day. And Obafemi is a champion. I need a championship on the show. Bronson Steiner's been a hell of a run of form. You know, I would be a biased general manager if I didn't give him an opportunity to become world champion. But he didn't. He lost. So water under the bridge, right? Cody goes, yeah. It's about tonight as well. I've got this match with Jay White in the main event, and I want you to make sure that these Nexus men aren't going to get involved in my main event tonight. Bobby goes, I'll try my best, Cody, but you know how they can be. Cody goes, don't get it twisted. After the match, I've got some things I want to say to them. But during the match is between me and it's between Jay White. I don't want to see a single one of them out there. Bobby goes, I'll try and get it done. You know, but they drive a hard bargain, Cody. And Cody goes, bargain it, Bobby. AU2 opener was actually pretty good, you know, for, you know, a nice little 10-minute match between two mid-card guys trying to get a footing in the US title division. Angelo Dawkins has to defeat Jorge Santana by cheating in 10 minutes and 2 seconds. 76 for Angelo, 74 for Santana. So a nice little match and a nice little showcase of both men, but it is Angelo Dawkins coming out on top here tonight. And after the match, Dawkins takes the microphone. He goes, yo, the Golden Prophet's got some things to say. At WrestleMania, I proved what I already knew, and that's that I was better than Tez. That after all these years of you calling Tez the star, saying Tez was being held back by me, I proved that I'm better than he is. And ever since WrestleMania here on Raw, I've been keeping my momentum rolling. So it's about time I got another little piece of singles gold around my waist. Oba, I don't care for you or the clique you run with. All I care about is what you carry. And you carry that United States Championship. And that is the championship that I've got my eyes on. Me and a hell of a lot of other people want that title off you, Oba. You're going to be a fighting champion? Because if you are, I'll see you real soon. We then cut to Tiffany Stratton's in her locker room. You know, she's like looking in the mirror, like putting on her mascara or whatever, doing like makeup. Marie and Mariah behind her going, oh yeah, it looks great, Tiffy, you know, gonna look like a superstar out there tonight. And then we pan even further across, and Bianca Belair and Jakara Jackson just stood in the background, sort of just like awkwardly looking around. And it's like the locker room's like all pink and shit, and they're just there and like looking normal, and they just sort of like look around in disgust. She goes, girl, how do you live like this? Because if it bothers you so much, then leave. Because Bianca, trust me, I don't want to be here anymore than you want me here. But for some reason, Bobby Roode put us in this tag team match tonight, and we need to get this win. And I'm not even sure why I've got a team with you, but I'll do it if I have to. Diffie goes, well, it's actually a great opportunity for my girls to get a foot in the tag team championship ranks, knowing that the tag team champions are out there on that other team that we're going to beat tonight, all because of me. And it's actually really good that you get front row seats to look at the woman who's going to end up taking that women's championship off you. Bianca just laughs and goes, Bayley? Well, I beat her already, but I could beat Bayley again. It's fine. And Tiffany goes, well, it's weird because I remember Bayley having your number last year, but I wasn't talking about Bayley, silly. And Bianca's like, Lyra? I mean, she's really talented, but, it might be a little bit too soon to... He goes, no! I'm talking about me and my 10 defenses of this Intercontinental Championship that can get me a shot at your title. Bianca just laughs and goes, girl, you gotta defend that thing for that to count. She just walks off. And Mariah, covers Tiffany's ears and goes, don't listen to her, okay? Also, this locker room is gorgeous, Her loss. We then cut to Gorilla. Liv and Bliss are in there. Or Liv and Blizzard, sorry. You can see Liv and Alexa sort of just awkwardly awkward smile at each other, side eye each other, and Thea Hale's all pumped up. He goes, yes, I can't believe Bobby Roode finally agreed to it. Look, okay, listen, I know there was a little bit of a thing between us last week, but I got us another match we can iron out the hink, because listen, this whole thing here between us, I'm feeling it too, you're feeling it, right? And we're going to win tonight, and we're going to prove that we do belong as the greatest trio here in the women's division. Plus, maybe, after that, we can get the tag team championships, and I can get the women's Intercontinental Championship, and beyond, and Liv and Blizzard can dominate Monday Night Raw. What do you say? She sort of puts her hand in the middle, to do a, where everyone puts their hand in the middle, and, raise them in the air. And Liv and Alexa just, stare down at her hand and, look at her. And Liv goes, what's that? She goes, oh, it's a thing that me and Mr. Chase and Duke and Shane and Hams used to do. And Alexa just goes, you're with us now, okay? For better or for worse, you're with us now. We don't do that. We do our stuff in the ring. Okay, you call yourself a grown-ass woman? Prove it. I feel he gets all hyped. He goes, yeah, I will. I'll prove it to you, Alexa. I'll prove that Liv and Blizzard, we are the best thing here on Monday Night Raw. Oh my goodness. Maybe Thea has a point. Holy shit. Colton, this is Thea Hale's greatest match of all time, I believe. So, yeah. 87 rated 6-woman tag team match. It's against the Unholy Union, who came over to Raw last week to help Blair defeat Tegan. Yeah. And this week they get a little bit of a receipt because Tegan and Piper rush out. They fight off Blair Davenport and Alba Fire. And then Thea Hale submits Iona Webb with the sharpshooter to win for Team Liv and Blizzard. 67 for Iona Webb, 84 for Alba Fire, 89 for Blair Davenport, 62 for Thea, 71 for Liv, 83 for Alexa. I was not expecting an 87 out of this. Pop off. It was mainly Blair, Alba, and Alexa, to be fair. But, Thea Hale was there, Colton. She contributed in some way to this 87 rated match. So yeah, things are looking up for Thea specifically, I guess. But this Liv and Blizzard trio, I guess, got one more opportunity, and they won tonight, so who knows? We then cut backstage. Kathy Kelly's with the Undisputed Era. And Kathy Kelly goes, first, Adam Cole, Kyle, Bobby, Roddy, welcome back to Monday Night Raw. Last week you made your return to Raw as part of the transfer window in that main event. It didn't quite go your way, but it's always great to see the Undisputed Era back on Monday nights. And Cole goes, first of all, Kathy, it's even better for us to be reunited with our 5th member. Welcome back to the club, Kathy. But anyway, Adam Cole, baby. The Guard, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, back on Monday Night Raw. And what brings the Undisputed Era back to Monday Night Raw? Well, I'll tell you, Kathy. over on ECW, I sort of created my own little group. I don't know if you heard of them. They were called the Paragon. And the Paragon eventually left me behind, so I had to recruit my own brothers and take care of them. And I believe I did a good enough job. They appear to be no more. So, as the original invaders of NXT, and as a group that has proven to be more than capable of taking care of other forces on the show, Bobby Roode reached out to us and wanted to see if we wanted to help with this little Nexus problem he's got going on over here. So, tonight, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, are going to be in tag team action against Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams of the Nexus. And once they win that match and we put the first chink in this Nexus armor, then Adam Cole Baby, I can swoop in, I can pick up the scraps. And soon, the Nexus will be sent back to where they came from. And that is undisputed. And then Gunther walks into frame, cuts him off. And Gunther just chuckles at him and he goes, "Huh? Listen here. I don't give a damn about all of this going on here on Raw. Those guys, they know better than to step to me. But you apparently do not. Because you see, I should be standing here tonight, the number one contender for the WWE Championship, but I'm not, Adam, because you lost last week, not me. You lost. So now I've got to watch a pretender like LA Knight walk around with a championship opportunity that should belong to me. First, we have Okada running away from me. And now me getting screwed out of opportunities by guys like you." And Curtis laughs and goes, "Listen, Goonie, I'm more than happy to do this dance with you, but first I've got to take care of what I was brought here to do, okay?" And Goonie just laughs and goes, "Well, I see Kyle and Roddy in tag team action tonight, and you're too busy taking care of other things. What about you?" He looks at Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish just looks back and goes, "Me?" Goes, "You don't look too busy, huh? How about you fight on behalf of him next week, and I can deliver the punishment meant to him to you?" And Bobby Fish he looks at Adam Cole and goes, "I don't know." And Adam Cole just looks at Bobby and goes, "It's up to you, Bobby. What do you want?" Bobby Fish goes, "Well, Gunther, you appear to have stepped to the wrong man, because while Kyle O'Reilly may be the god and while Adam Cole Baby may be the greatest, I'm Bobby goddamn Fish, and I'm 1/3 of the Cruiserweight Trios champions, and I'm in my own world. I've got my own stuff going on. I've been wrestling for longer than all these guys combined. I've fought men bigger than you, and I've put men bigger than you down. And next week, if you're going to keep running your mouth to me, I'm going to shut it up. Where's the lie?" And Gunther just laughs and goes, Funny guy. See you next week." So just pats him on the shoulder. So yeah, Bobby Fish has volunteered himself to wrestle Gunther next week. Huh. We then cut backstage to ZSJ, Pete Dunne, and Dudley Davis. When they're chatting, they're yapping it up, being British. They're brothering it up, for lack of a better term. When they spot, he goes, well, look who it is. It's just the dickheads I wanted to see. And for Axiom just standing there, that's that does. He goes, "Rather pleasant greeting there, mi amigo. And how can I help you?" He goes, "Since we come here to Raw, we've been tapping out dickheads left and right, reigniting the world, reminding the world what British Cruiserweight wrestling is all about. You, though, didn't seem to get the memo because you're hanging around with this weirdo in a mask." And Axiom goes, "Hey, I'll have you know, I'm a former Cruiserweight champion. I'm a current World Tag Team champion. That's more than you two can say. Pete's been a world champion for, 5 minutes? I don't know if anybody remembers that. So when it comes to bringing success to the great British style, I think we're doing a better job than you guys are right now." He goes, what are you doing? Running your mouth. You're too scared to even show your face around here, but you think you can run your lip and not get smacked in the mouth? And then Nathan Fraser steps in and goes, whoa. Hold on, I understand what you want here. You want a chance to wrestle me in Axiom for the Tag Team Championships. It's fine, we're looking for new challengers. Anyone that isn't Christian and Dominic and Lex King at this point, Christ. But I hear, there's a tag team on this show. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're sort of the greatest tag team of the past few years. They go Path of the Dragon, Berto, Akira Tozawa, Zergis. He's a big dinosaur. We actually borrowed him once to take care of some of our business. Anyway, you're currently at butting heads with who many consider the greatest tag team here on Raw. I would argue it's us because we have the titles, but hey ho. But if you can fight those guys and beat those guys, or if those guys can beat you, then I feel like that's the best way to determine who's next in line to get a shot at our championships. So if you really want to prove that you're hot stuff, go out there and prove it, mate. And the SJ gets in his face and goes, we'll do that. Next week, Dudley and Pete gonna fold those dragon dickheads up like a pretzel. And then we're gonna shut your mouth up, shut his mouth up, and take those championships. And finally do pride by those titles. And they walk off. And then Nathan Vincent sort of just turns out to him and goes, he's a brash one, isn't he? And he goes, yeah, but great wrestler. He's not someone we can overlook. He goes, yeah, sure. I knew people said having these championships would put a target on our back, but I'll be honest, I didn't expect this many this quickly. A nothing match. Carlito steps in to wrestle Rey Mysterio, but gets a 59. Rey beats him in 3:54 with a 619. 66 for Rey, 48 for Carlito. So yeah, Rey's first match back on Raw. Just a quick match against Carlito, a quick win. After the matchup, he takes the microphone and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night Raw. I'm back. Now, last week, myself and my young protege, Pistolero, on ECW, we challenged for the ECW Tag Team Champions and we came up short. And that ended up being my final match on ECW because I'm now calling Monday Night Raw my home once again. But all I've been asked is, Rey, why are you back on Raw? Why did you abandon Pistolero to come back to Raw? The answer is, I didn't abandon him. That kid, he's one of the greatest wrestlers on that brand, and he'll soon be a singles champion all by himself. But what brought me back to Raw was my son. What brought me back to Raw was Christian. What brought me back to Raw was a wake-up call that I got to right some things I may have done wrong in my career before I end up calling it quits. And there's no bigger wrong that I think needs to be righted than seeing my son hang around with the people he's hanging around with. As when Christian comes out and he goes, Rey, I appreciate it. It's taken you, 30 years to finally decide that you want to step up and be a big man. You want to step up and be a true father figure for Dominic. But it's too late. You've seen the man Dominic has become without you. You've seen the success he's had without you, when all he was with you was Rey Mysterio's son. All he was with you was a Nepo baby who nobody ever touted for success, but under me, he's a future world champion. Now sure, Dom's not here tonight because I grounded him because of some issues he and I may have had at in your house and a backlash, but make no mistake about it, that's my baby boy now. You lost the right to call yourself Dominic's father after years of abandonment, after years of mistreatment and leaving him at home with nobody to look up to. When I finally stepped up, I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad who stepped up while you were off only caring about Rey Mysterio. So Rey, you can save us the sob story if you've come back to win the heart back of your son who's got no interest in having his heart won back by you. Then you can turn your ass right back around, head on back over to ECW, the brand I put on the map, by the way, and continue to fizzle out and end your career with a whimper because nobody cares about you anymore. So Rey, out of my ring. And Rey sort of gets in Christian's face. And he goes, "You're right about one thing. I may have not been there for Dominic as much as I wanted to growing up, and it led him to do what he did to me. And I mean, he may not see me as a great father figure to him, but I'm damn sure better than you." And he walks out. Christian just sort of just sneers at Rey Mysterio as he walks away. We then get a quick backstage segment. Chelsea Green, she arrives in the women's locker room. You see Malcolm Bivens in there. He's having a chat with Jada Parker. And Chelsea goes, "Look who it is in the women's locker room. It's my little Malcolm Bivens. How's it feel, even being in the women's locker room, you're the shortest person in here. Okay? I don't understand who invited you in here. Was it Jada? Was it Jade? I don't know, but the fact that you're in here, Malcolm, it's a little bit weird, gonna be honest." He goes, "How dare you? What are you insinuating, Chelsea? I'm in here talking business with Jada Parker. Okay? Look at this woman. This bitch is next up. If Jade Cargill is the noun, Jada Parker is the future. This bitch, along with Jade Cargill, that bitch, are gonna carry this division for years to come. As a matter of fact, Chelsea, you're new here, right? You've got no friends because all your friends left you behind and replaced you after just a week. How about tonight? You step up, you face Jada Parker in action and show the whole world what Miss Parker's all about. Because she's about a hell of a lot more than what you see of her online. And that is a lot of Miss Parker you see online." And Chelsea just chuckles and goes, Fine. But let's get one thing perfectly clear, Bivens. Sure, since I've been here in WWE, I may not have been able to show my true potential because I've been doing a lot of other things. Taking back seats to other people who this company is seen as more important, or, having a lot of fun on my way here, making the best out of what I'm given. But if you're going to give me the opportunity to go up there and show the world what Chelsea Green can do in that ring, I'm going to take it. I don't care if it's you, I don't care if it's Miss Parker, I don't even care if it's Jade. See you out there, Miss Parker. John Cena comes to the ring. His first appearance in 2 weeks, I believe. I believe it was the week before last he was on. And he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are loud here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Now, we are now 5 months in to my retirement tour. And so far, we've made memories. We've run back the greatest hits. We've created new greatness. But most importantly, we've had a hell of a lot of fun with every single one of you, whether you cheered me or booed me after all these years. We can all agree once the John Cena retirement tour is over, it'll be nothing we'll ever forget anytime soon. Which brings me to In Your House, Worlds Collide, next month. Now, I've been speaking to Bobby Roode recently, and I can now confirm that while there may still be a little bit of liberties, because obviously it's my retirement tour and I want to give back as much as I can to every single show, I am now officially coming out of the transfer window a member of the Monday Night Raw roster. And part of that was Bobby Roode made this match. This match he knew a lot of wrestling fans around the world wanted to see. He made worlds collide. WWE crossing paths with New Japan. John Cena, for the first time ever, and the last time ever, the only time ever, standing across the ring from a man who, the half of you who chanted "Let's go Cena" for all those years would call me the greatest of all time. I think the half of you that chanted "Cena sucks" would call this guy the greatest of all time. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, Tanahashi, of course, ending his legendary career next year too. We had one chance to make this match happen. We almost passed like ships in the night. And I got into the ring with another one of that company's greatest to ever do it at WrestleMania, and he beat me. He took my Intercontinental Championship. But make no mistake about it, after WrestleMania, I've learned a lot. Ace. I don't know if you're going to need a translator or not, but I'm going to spell it out for you in any language you can understand. I run this place. You run that place. And for all these years, many people have wondered what would happen if either one of us showed up in the other person's place. I've got an idea. It's up to you to prove me wrong. You need to bring every fiber of your being that you've ever brought to every single big match you've ever had. And I'll do the same. Because neither of us are what we used to be. Hence we're both calling it quits. But there's one thing that we can and must do. And that's to make sure this match delivers. Not just for me, not just for you, but for all of your fans, all of my fans around the world who will be wanting this for 20 years. So Ace, I'll see you around. But if you ever fancy stopping by, if you want some, come get some. But after I pick up the win and prove myself the greatest of all time, it's on a Money in the Bank. And I get to do what I've been setting out to do from the very start of this thing. And the thing that you people all want to see me do. And that's become a 17-time world champion. Because make no mistake about it, even though I may not be what I want to be in that ring anymore, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to win Money in the Bank. I'm going to cash it in, and I'm going to become WWE Champion. Chad Gable interrupts John Cena. Gable comes and goes, John, fine speech, but listen here, buddy. You're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, King. Because I'm the WWE Champion. Okay? I cashed in Money in the Bank and I became the WWE Champion. And last time I checked, you stepped into the ring with an Olympian. He broke your ankle, he made your ass tap out. So, John, I'm glad you're on Monday Night Raw now. I run this show. I am the WWE Champion. And if your quest for number 17 is going to be this show and this championship, then John, you may as well retire tonight. Because you're not going to take this championship from me after everything I went through to get it. And John Cena just sort of like, he takes his hat off, rubs his bald spot, like John Cena does. And he goes, Chad, I respect the hell out of you, and I'll see you down the road. And maybe when I do win Money in the Bank, you will still be WWE Champion. And he goes to leave, and he sort of stops. And he turns back around, puts his hand on Chad Gable's shoulder, and goes, then again, maybe not. And then LA Knight slams into the ring. He turns Gable around, drops him with the BFT, Crowd goes wild for it. He picks up the microphone and he goes, "Gable, you busy now, huh? Well, guess what? I've just been done seeing Bobby Roode. Bobby seemed to disagree with something you said earlier on tonight when you said that you get to call the shots around here. And you get to decide when you defend that championship, because that's not entirely true. Nah. Because, Chad Gable, the next time you'll defend that WWE championship, it will be at Bad Blood. And it will be against the man who's going to put your ass in the ground just like he did tonight. Mr. Prime himself, the megastar, and the next WWE champion, LA Knight. Yeah." Bang. First Bad Blood match confirmed. Chad Gable defending the WWE Championship against LA Knight. Yeah. Then cut to the three Nexus girls getting ready for the match later on tonight, the 8-woman tag. And Bayley's obviously not in the locker room, but Cora and Roxy, of course, are stressed about Bayley existing, basically. And they go up to Lyra and goes, "Hey, are you sure about Bayley?" I goes, "Listen, okay? I understand everything that you and Bayley have gone through. I get it, I really do. Like, if this was Becky in a situation and you'd brought Becky in here, I'd be exactly the same way. But I really think I can get through to her. You know, she was there, she saw what we did to AJ, we're never going to see AJ again. Bayley knows what we can do if she makes our life difficult. And she is a former women's champion. She won the main event of WrestleMania. We could use someone like that in the Nexus. She's also, great history of NXT. And when we win tonight, we're going to get through to her." And Cora goes, "Yeah, but what if we don't? What if, after all of this, you try and Bayley still says no, and you've wasted our time?" And Lyra just sort of stops, and she just turns around slowly with a smile on her face, and she goes, "Then Bayley knows what will happen." And she just walks away. And Cora and Roxy sort of look at each other, shrug, and go, yeah, I guess." 56 rated match. They don't seem to click. Sure. But yes, Chelsea Green rolls up Jada Parker and pins her. 50 for Jada Parker, 54 for Chelsea Green. So yeah, nice little mid-card women's match. Just two women about to get on the show. I think they've both been on Heat for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, give them something to do. They've got a nice little match on this show. But after the match, Chelsea is celebrating her win when, Malcolm Bivens laughs at ringside. And Jay's like, "What the fuck is he laughing at?" Chelsea is like, "That, sorry." Bang. Jade Cargill, big boot. She drops Chelsea Green with the Jaded. And, Malcolm Bivens raises Jade Cargill's arm. Jada Parker sort of gets into the ring, stands next to Bivens as well. And Bivens raises her arm too. So yeah, Malcolm Bivens has formed himself a nice little collective here. We then cut backstage. Bronson Reed, Duke Hudson together. And then Duke's like, "Listen, mate, I just wanted to, calm down and relax after Saturday night." Bronson Reed goes, "It's alright, mate, I know. I feel like it's my fault that you're even involved in this thing with Over to start with." And Duke goes, "No, don't get me twisted. I want that United States Championship just as much as you do. But, there's a lot of people after this championship and we definitely both need it. So, as long as you stay out of my way until that championship's on the line, then there should be no more hard feelings between us." They sort of bump fists. Yeah, there's a little reconciliation because, things did get heated between, well, a bunch of people, but Duke Hudson and Bronson Reed, former Aussie Might stablemates. 89, holy fuck, the women's multi-woman tag match has been carrying the show so far. But, yes. The Nexus and Bayley do pick up the win over the Blonde Barbies and Bianca Belair. Which of these two teams could coexist less was mainly the story. And there was very aggressive tags between Tiffany and Bianca, like, from the offset, because they're, beefing a lot recently. And the Nexus, of course, I imagine for a lot of the match, Bayley is just left on the apron. Lyra is obviously the only person to ever tag Bayley in. And like even when Bayley's tagged in, she's like, do I really wanna? And then Bianca and Tiffany, they end up tagging each other in a bit too aggressively, one too many times. They brawl to the outside, and then, Bayley picks up Bianca, apparently. Oh yeah, I guess Tiffany just punched Bianca in the face and walked out. And then Lyra picked up Bianca in the Nightwing, pinning her to win the match. No, she doesn't pin her. She hits the Nightwing, tags Bayley in, and then allows Bayley to get the pin. So Bayley wins the match for her team. 69 for Anne-Marie, 59 for Mariah, 79 for Tiffany, 88 for Bianca, 79 for Bayley, 82 for Cora, 84 for Roxy, and 84 for Lyra. Bayley being the lowest on this team is very funny, but yeah, sure. After the match, Bayley walks to the back without the 3 Nexus girls. And eventually they do sort of just follow her to the back, like trying to catch up to her. When Tiffany gets in Bianca's face, they start arguing. When Charlotte Flair storms into the ring, she charges down, she spears Mariah May, she boots Anne-Marie Porter. She goes to boot Tiffany Stratton as well. Tiffany ducks the big boot, and Charlotte accidentally boots Bianca in the face. Imagine with a heel on as well, so it's like heels her right in the face. Bianca goes down, Tiffany scurries away. But yeah, the Blonde Barbies did jump Charlotte last week, so this is a receipt. But Tiffany managed to scurry away. We then I imagine we go to ads after that. We cut back and we see Bayley walking through the hallway, sort of conflicted with herself when Lyra rushes up. And goes, "Hey, we did it! We did it, right?" And Bayley goes, "Yeah, we won. Okay." And Lyra goes, "So?" Bayley goes, "What?" He goes, "So, what do you say? Oh, great stuff, huh? You liked it, you back to winning ways. Better than you did with AJ, huh? Remember what we did to her? We could do that to you. We choose not to because we value you." Bayley just sighs and goes, "Look, Lyra." And then we just hear, the thumping of, metal bars hitting the ground. And then the cameramen rush off before Bayley can give her answer. And Bianca and Charlotte are, screaming at each other. She goes, "What the hell was that out there, huh?" She goes, "I was trying, I wasn't trying to hit you, okay? If you're going to get all up in my grill, okay, for an accident, okay, then I don't mind. I'll take any one of you on." Bianca goes, "Oh, I see what this is. You're trying to get close to my championship because you realize you're Charlotte. You can't live without being near a championship. But guess what? You're going to have to earn this championship shot." And then Tiffany sort of just walks in and goes, "Girls, don't fight over me. Please." And she just walks off. And then Bianca and Charlotte both sort of look across at Tiffany, look back at each other. They're still angry at each other, but they're sort of out yeah, it is. It's her. She's the problem here. Another 89 rated match. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams don't work well as a tag team. Their timing was all over the place. Okie dokie game, sure. I'll probably just fix that in the editor to at least neutral. I don't know if I'll give them great chem, but, yeah. But Mello and Trick do pick up the win over Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Mello pinning Kyle with a nothing but net in 13 minutes and 3 seconds. 70 for Trick, 83 for Mello, 78 for Roddy, 90 for Kyle. And yeah, after the match, the Nexus boys are celebrating. Obafemi, Big Oba, makes his way into the ring. And, he sort of just gives the look across to Carmelo and Trick. Trick and Mello sort of just nod at him. As if, giving him giving their permission for him to kill Kyle and Roddy. As Mello and Trick go to leave and walk to the back. He goes to pick up Roderick Strong. He hits him with that power bomb. He goes to grab Kyle O'Reilly, do the same thing to him. When he turns around, big boot by Damian Priest. Big running knee by Buddy Murphy. He bounces off the ropes into the arms of Damian Priest. Priest hits the South of Heaven, sending Big Oba down to a big pop. And he picks up the US title. He screams with the USR in his hands. But yeah, the big man has been taken down. It took the combined forces of both the Church of Rollins men. But he's off his feet. Not a rare sight. Oh, is a rare sight, sorry. But then again, go to ads, we come back. and Priest and Buddy Murphy, coming out of Adam. I keep calling him Adam Pearce, Bobby Roode's office, and Buddy goes, we could probably use all the help we could get because we know they're always going to be far behind. And then he sort of like points at someone off screen, and Priest goes, I'll tell him. And they walk up to Seth, and Seth sort of looks across. Priest goes, hey, buddy. Seth goes, what? And Priest goes, so you just saw me out there, doing my thing. I finally took Obafemi off his feet. Finally sent that guy reeling for the first time. And next week I just heard from Bobby Roode. I'm the next in line. Not Angelo Dawkins, not Duke Hudson, not Bronson Reed. Me. I'm next up for the United States Championship. It's me and Oba next week on Raw. Seth goes, that's great. You get a chance to take that championship from them Nexus guys. But there's probably going to be a lot of them out there to try and help Oba out. Bronson, Carmelo, Trick, anyone else they've got up their sleeve. Because, yeah, that's what we wanted to come and talk to you about, Seth. We saw your little chat last week. And we think that as part of the Church of Rollins, obviously all decisions have to go through you, but we should probably reach out to more people to watch our back in this numbers game. And Seth sort of like squints his eyes and he goes, and what exactly do you have in mind? And Priest goes, well, I think if there's a bunch of guys on this show that have a lot of issues with the Nexus, they could probably help us. Like Cody Rhodes, for example. We helped us at WrestleMania. Seth goes, Cody knows, what to do. And Priest goes, and what about, what was said last week? And Seth's face immediately drops. He just stares at Priest. Just slowly starts shaking his head and goes, I'd rather die. And he walks away. And Buddy Murphy's all like tugging his collar in the background going, well, we tried. Can't say I didn't expect that answer. Priest goes, yeah, it's just, I love Seth, but I wish he'd stop thinking about himself and would do what the Church of Rollins was supposed to do, and that's look out for the greater good. Next week, got a couple of matches now set for the show, including, as we just heard, the United States Championship will be on the line. Obafemi, Damian Priest, United States Championship match. Can Priest wrestle the Nexus Championship off their hands, or will the reign of the ruler continue? We'll have to find out next week. Plus, a big tag team match with probably World Tag Team Championship stakes, as Path of the Dragon take on Dudley Davis and Pete Dunne in tag team action. Nathan Fraser basically all but admitted whoever wins this is the number one contender early on tonight, so yeah. Also, for what it's worth, Gunther versus Bobby Fish set for next week on Raw after, Gunther got in the face of the Undisputed Era early on tonight, so yeah, that's a happening. And at women's tag team match, Bianca Belair teams with her protege Jakara Jackson to take on Charlotte Flair and her protege Ariana Grace in women's tag team action. Plus, we now have our first match set for Bad Blood in a couple of weeks, and it is for the WWE Championship. Chad Gable, the champion, will defend the title against LA Knight. Yeah. 99 rated. Raw has had a 100 main event and a 99 rated main event in back-to-back weeks. Cody Rhodes, Jay White 2, and it is now one apiece. Obviously, Jay White won at WrestleMania. Cody wins Hill Night with a Crossroads in 1648. Night 2 reign for both men. And yeah, nice win for Cody. Then after the match, Cody grabs the mic and he goes, boys, where you at? This fight ain't over till I stop breathing. Okay, I know you're all back there. Let's do it. The Nexus men start appearing out of the crowd. One out of each corner of the ring. They all get onto each side of the ring. They all go to get into the ring. Cody's got a chair. He tries to fight them off. Burn It Down hits. Seth Rollins and the Church of Rollins come rushing out. And I imagine as they come rushing out, we see Jay White leaving after his loss. And Seth and Jay White sort of like exchange looks on the ramp. And Seth sort of like looks at him, looks at the ring as Cody's getting beaten up, and basically he's like shrugged his shoulders like, what the fuck are you gonna do, bruh? And Jay White just walks away because, you know, he's stayed impartial in this whole thing, and he doesn't like Cody Rhodes, so why does he care if Cody's gonna get beat up? But yeah, Seth and Priest and Buddy rush out to help Cody. It's 4-on-4. They look like they're just about to have the Nexus reeling, when as Cody goes to deliver a crossroads on Bronson Steiner, he's hit with a low blow, and Bronson Steiner spears Cody. And then the person who hit Cody with a low blow gets up, he grabs the steel chair and he sits the steel chair out, like sits it out in the middle of the ring. He grabs Seth Rollins, he hits a twist of fate on the upwards part of the chair. Like, so Rollins' neck goes into the steel chair, and Seth goes down. And then, of course, this person reveals he is all ego, Ethan Page. He points at his big smile. He hugs Bronson Steiner, he hugs Carmelo Hayes, he hugs Trick, he hugs Oba. And he stands in the middle of the ring. He's in the middle, raising the arms of Bronson and Oba, and then Trick and Miller on the end, raising their arms as well. And we appear to have found the worm in this locker room. It wasn't Bobby Roode all along. If you pay attention, it was always Ethan Page segments that, like, happened right before it, or, like, right after it, or whatever. And, like, there's always been, like, it was Ethan Page last week that got cut off. He's always been lingering around this group. And here he is. He is the fifth man. 95 rated show. We take those all day. Again, 99 rated main event a week after a 100. Fuck yeah. Raw is, you know, cooking right now. Why some more of those what you thought of the show? Do let me know in the comments below. I'll see you on the other side for Heat. Heat kicks off with a calm little 75. Jordan Grace and Ivy Nile in singles action. You know, two powerhouses, two juggernauts going out to kick off Heat. It is Jordan, of course, who picks up the win. She pins Ivy with the fall from Grace in 13-19. 61 for Ivy Nile, 73 for Jordan Grace. So yeah, nice little win for her here tonight. And then cut back to Carmella and Shayna Baszler backstage when Zoe Stark walked into frame. And she goes, "Hey, Shayna." And Shayna's like, "Hey." She goes, "So, I understand last week your little friend here let you down." Shayna goes, "Not really. Why?" And so he goes, "Well, as it turns out, there's this deviant over on ECW right now that I really need to deal with, and I was kind of pulling for you to come over in the transfer window, but that's shut now and they're still on SmackDown, it's fine. I get that if you want to keep teaming with a loser like Carmella, it's fine." And Shayna goes, "What do you want, Zoe?" He goes, "Well, I did speak to Brandy, and since Lola Vice, you know, you may have heard of her, she has these MMA prowess, so I really need somebody with a similar sort of expertise to take her down tonight." And Shayna goes, "Let me guess, you got me." So he goes, "Yeah, if you don't mind. You know, I figured, you know, you and I, we're on the same wavelength about these things. You don't want people like that embarrassing women's wrestling." Shayna goes, "No, Zoe, I'm not as insecure as you are, so I don't particularly care what Lola gets up to in her free time. Just as I'm going to go up there and kick her teeth in because that's what I do. I'm a fighter, and I fight, and I win. Okay?" And she walks off and leaves. And Zoe sort of looks at Carmella. Carmella goes, "Don't you look at me. Calling me an embarrassment, okay? I'm a women's world champion, you're not." Tag team match. Luca Star in action here tonight against Callie Armstrong and Kendall Gray. Because I wanted to really see how they were doing. 26 and 17, I guess, for no popularity. And women that come in through the PC tend to have lower stats than indie wrestlers because, like, the people who make them odds don't really have much for them to go off of. But it's fine. We'll get them there at some point. But yeah, nice little showcase for them. But Billy Starks does pin Callie in 7:32. 72 for Killer Kelly, 50 for Billy Starks, 26 for Kendall Gray, and a 17 for Callie Armstrong. 69, Shayna and Lola don't seem to click. Sure. It's a good job I didn't move Shayna to ECW then. Because she would have had nothing to do because all the women over there already doing stuff. And she doesn't click with Lola, which would have been like the obvious feud for her. But yeah, she does win here tonight. She does pick up the win. 46 for Lola Vice, 72 for Shayna Baszler. Our main event gets a 77. It is continued Queendom versus J-Flow Law. The two, for lack of a better term, fifth wheels of their respective groups. Yoko versus Marika here in the main event tonight. No disrespect, obviously, but, you know, it is how it is. We have hierarchies. We have power scaling for a reason. But Yoko picks up the win with a Mike Hikari in 14:05, 72 for Yoko, 70 for Marika, 77 for the match. So yeah, pretty good, to be fair. And that does end Heat, which gets us 74. Fine. What matters more you for the show, mainly of Raw. Do look for the comments below. I'll see you next time for ECW, which is not the Go Home show. I've got this show, and then next week's show is the Go Home for Heatwave. See you then.